From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
And Corey Clark.
Wake up! What is up, everybody? It's Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's show, Friday over-unders. Get your picks in, Warchant subscribers. We muse on the Florida State run game and the emotional warfare that could be at play in Charlotte on Saturday night. Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Tallahassee, Florida. CPTallybar.com, the website, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Put that in your GPS app. Takes you right to the best spot in town in Tallahassee for your lunch. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Friday, chicken strip basket, hand-breaded chicken strips. Serve with a dipping sauce of your choice. They'll either toss it around in that sauce or they'll put it on the side for you if you want. Whatever you want, your way over at Corner Pocket. Be sure to come on out for the game Saturday if you're not going to be in Charlotte. Be around some other Noles. Maybe epic finish. We'll get some security footage, camera stuff, and make some kind of cool video. And are you guys going to do anything if they make the playoff, Corey, like the day after, similar to what happened last year after the Florida game? Then you guys have some big like keg stands, roosters.
Oh, we won't be able to do that because we'll all be coming back from Charlotte.
That's true.
I don't know. We should do something. Maybe that's Saturday. If we're all in town, we could get together and do a keg stand.
Okay, sweet. Ultimate Seminole Sports Source, Warchant.com, silly season promo, 50% off an annual membership for first-time customers, or $1 for a month. Only thing, though, is when you do the $1 a month, once the month is over, you got to pay for a whole year, full freight, full price, or MSRP. Or you can just go ahead and get it over with and just do 50% for a whole year now while your team is soaring. You've got the portal opening December 4th. You got early signing day. You're going to have bowl prep, playoff prep possibly. Stay connected with us the entire time. Corey Clark's here. Can't wait to see you later today. We'll be at Resident Culture.
Yes, there you go. You nailed it.
Charlotte, North Carolina, hanging out 6 o'clock with our great friends from the Charlotte Seminole Club. Do come out and say hi. Also, if you're a member of Warchant.com, you can win a $25 gift card to Garnet and Gold. You already get 10% off everything at Garnet and Gold every single day when you're a member of Warchant.com, but we have the over-under contest every single week. You got to put it over on the Tribal Council. There's a link to a Google form that you fill out, and Corey's been kind enough to give us 6 propositions for like the last 3 weeks. We'll turn to him again to give us our weekly over-under selections. Again, winner gets a $25 gift card to Garnet and Gold. Corey, start us off with some over-unders, friend, that gives us an insight into how you maybe see this Louisville-Florida State game playing out on Saturday.
Over-under Louisville punt average.
Oh, geez, okay.
47.5.
Have you looked up their punter at all?
He averages 44.
Okay.
So add 10% to that at least because he's going to have a monster game.
All right.
Plus, Keon does a good job of helping these punters out by letting, at least half of them bounce and roll past them.
Oh, be nice.
I know. I'm sorry. He does. And Papoose just made a good point about that. The one he fielded where he had the long return, that was almost the exact same kick that he let bounce in the first half that ended up rolling down to the 6, and then they got a safety. But also later on in the game, there was one that landed over his head and rolled into the end zone. So he made the right decision 2 out of 3 times, which is a good hit rate. But yeah, I mean remember back in the day, Aslan, when punts used to bounce, you didn't know which way they were going to bounce. Sometimes they bounce back towards the punter.
Yeah.
That happens like 5% of the time now.
This is Australian people, man.
They know how to put some sort of top spin on it where when it hits, it's rolling towards the other goal line. It's remarkable. Thank God they've entered college football. They have changed the game. And, of course, that kid from Florida that was hitting the 70-yarders the other night is Australian. So, yeah, over-under, what'd I say, 47.5?
You did.
All right. How about Tate Rodemaker passing yards, 240?
Okay. All right. I like that. Last week was 431 offensive yards total.
Yeah, that went under.
Yeah, it did.
That went under. Florida State. All right, how about Florida State interceptions? Meaning how many times they intercept Louisville?
Yeah.
Over under 1.5.
Oh, All right, yeah, ball hawking secondary. Let's go.
Well, this kid puts the ball in jeopardy occasionally too.
Yeah.
Combined sacks for Verse and Peyton, 1.5.
What?
What?
Everyone's going to take the over on that.
Should I make it 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, we'll make that.
It.
Yeah, if we're combining those two, let's make it 2.5. Well, they've only done that twice all year, I think, where they've combined for more than 2.5 sacks.
I'll go with your gut. We'll keep it at 1.5.
No, I like 2.5 because the 1.5 was for the interception. So we're up to 4 now.
Correct.
All right. Announced attendance at this game. Over under 47,000.
Ew, that's embarrassing. But by the way, last week's tiebreaker, we had 3 people get it perfect. We had to go to tiebreaker, and 2 guys had the same tiebreaker, which was like Tate Rodemaker passing yards, and both of them said 225 yards.
Oh, really?
So I had to bother Gene, who had to bother Garden and Gold to get more gift cards. So I'll have to figure out a better tiebreaker on my stance. But all right, 47,000, the announced attendance at Bank of America Stadium.
I'm trying to see what the attendance was last year. Can you look that up?
Oh, that was Clemson, North Carolina, right?
Oh, yeah, that was probably a sellout. You're right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I don't want to – I just don't think it's going to be a kind of a crappy night weather-wise, it seems. Attendance last year was 64,115.
That is correct. 87% capacity.
Yeah. It was the home state team with a Heisman-ish quarterback and then Clemson. So – and Clemson was coming off a loss, so the North Carolina fans probably thought they had a real chance to win. And that was 64. Let me change it to 52.
Ooh, all right.
I'm bumping it up to 52. Okay. Although all right, that's probably too high. But I'm
47. I'm putting. I'm vetoing you. I'm overruling you. We're going
247. I think that's a good one. And then,
come on, something that's going to illuminate who wins and loses this game.
How about Louisville? What, can we just do the Louisville over-under for points?
Sure.
What is it?
I don't know.
Let me look at it. I'll look at it. I would say their over-under is like 23.5. But, yeah, let me find that real quick.
Let me see what team total. Oh, they got so many things over at MyBookie, like highest scoring quarter for each
Louisville
team.
Total points is 22.5.
Okay.
So let's do that. Louisville total points, 22.5, over or under.
Okay, there we go. Those are your over-unders. Got to be a member of warchant.com to play. Enter. Costs nothing for that, so do it, everybody. Let's get back to the rest of this mailbag, Corey. There was a lot of questions I didn't know how to answer, so I tried to spread them out over both shows, which maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should have done all of them in one so it would look weird. Did a good job, though, yesterday. I'm proud of you. Sight and Sound is the name of this subscriber. Long-time listener, first-time asker. It's portal season. We'll need a healthy battle's end to ensure we get our fair share of players. NIL collectives keep their finances hidden. Any good estimate on how much we have to spend compared to our peers? What is considered a large NIL collective? How much are we talking? Thanks and go Noles.
Honestly, I don't have a clue. Because I have an idea of what the battle's end might have, but I have no idea what Florida has or Miami has. And I don't know if they want me out there saying that necessarily. So I don't want to do that. But it's also goofy. It's so goofy. Like, I saw on Twitter earlier in the week that some coach was saying that the going rate for a really good portal quarterback is like $1 million or $1.2 million. And he was lamenting it, like, this is where we are in the world. It's like, yeah, well, what is Bobby Petrino getting for going back to Arkansas? And who's more important? Yeah. Like, is Bobby Petrino, who's not going to be there long, he's probably going to be the interim head coach by next November. Is that more
KJ Jefferson, their quarterback, yeah.
Or is getting, the kid from Kansas State or Grayson McCall or somebody like that, is that more important? Because in the NFL, I can promise you the quarterbacks make a little bit more money than the offensive coordinators. Aaron Rodgers is making a little bit more than whoever's stealing money for the Jets. So it's got to be a healthy collective. You're going to have to – it's not just money to go get guys in the portal. It's to keep a recruiting class together, and it's to keep a roster retained. So, yeah, that's the – it's so –
Is a large NL collective 8 figures?
Yes. I would think so, right? I would think at least high 7s.
Yeah.
Which is just so again, the Battle's End is a huge part of this season. The last 2 seasons, they've done a great job. Everybody,
incredible
if you have
job.
money, if you have money to give and you believe in their mission, by all means do it. It's awesome what they've done. It's just crazy that's where this sport is. That like the Green Bay Packers fans don't have to pay for their players. They just cut the organization pays them. But in college football, in college basketball to a lesser extent, if you want to watch a good team, well, pony up, baby. It's on you, fan. It's not on the other millionaires that are running the show. It's on you to pony up.
Also goofy, in my opinion, are people like rolling their eyes at Washington's win over Washington State. Like, they're terrible. They're like 5-win team or something. Meanwhile, every fan base out there is like, Cam Ward's going to be back in the portal, Washington State's quarterback. They're like, he's worth at least $2 million. Make it happen. And it's like, well, Washington just beat that guy.
Yeah. A lot of teams beat that guy.
That's true. That is true. All right, where else are we? Next question. Let's go. Let's talk about the read option. Let's go to Old Dad's a Nole. By the way, he'll be watching the game from a Royal Caribbean ship. Good for you, Old Dad.
Okay.
Good for you, buddy.
All right.
Nice. Never been on a Royal Caribbean. Only been on a Carnival. I'm not elite.
I was on Royal Caribbean last year. My first ever cruise, first and only so far, was Stephanie was a Royal Caribbean. It was during the first round of March Madness.
Yeah. So good that you do it again, right?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good time.
All right. That wasn't a paid ad either.
It was not. So Royal Caribbean, hit me up.
Old Dad's and old. Wake up. Why do you think Florida State runs the read option, yet Tate wouldn't pull the ball out Saturday, thus making that play effectively useless? I guess I get why Jordan didn't do it much this year, but that play could be lethal because Tate has some wheels. Stetson Bennett was very effective at it, not because he was Jordan Travis 2.0, but basically actually read when to pull it. This is very frustrating. It is. It seemingly is not programmed in either of these quarterbacks lately.
Yeah.
Are they making the right decision? And the right decision cannot possibly be to hand the ball off every time.
No,
and it feels like it's been that. I mean, I can't imagine. Maybe against Wake, did he pull it? I know Jordan pulled it 1 week.
Yeah, he pulled it against Duke a couple of times too, and had some first down runs. Pulled it against LSU. Inside the 5 where Benson was getting killed and he just yanked the ball and like walked into the end zone for maybe I think that might have been the go-ahead touchdown after the Toafili 4th down conversion. Look, I just don't think they're true reads. I just don't. Because if they were, if your quarterback in that instance is always supposed to be reading, and so there's always a chance that he's supposed to keep the ball, then there's just no way. Then they have quarterbacks that just don't see it. But so I think they make it look like a read, but in reality, it's probably a real read where like he looks at the defense and thinks, okay, in this set, if I pull it, there is a chance that if the right, let's say the run to Benson is to the left, if I keep it, there is a chance there's going to be some room there for me to run on the right. I just don't think that's even part of the equation every play. It can't be. Because if it is, explain it to me, Aslan. Explain it to me. You can't. And what gives me a little credence with that theory is that when Atkins was talking about Brock Glenn's touchdown against Northern Alabama, that looked like a read play. It looked like he did what he was supposed to do, pulled it, and ran it because it was open. But Atkins said after the game on that following Monday, he's not actually supposed to pull the ball on that play. Meaning it wasn't really a read. Our man just did it on his own, which, again, Brock Glenn for Heisman. But he just did it on his own. So I think most of those calls aren't real, like, zone reads where the quarterback – because, I just don't think they want their quarterback to run the ball 12 or 15 times a game, especially the kid that was starting because you set him up for an injury, which ended up happening, sadly. But, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think they're true zone reads. And they would never tell us because they wouldn't want us to write a story saying, really only about 4% of the time does the quarterback even have the option to keep it, because that changes the way a defense defends you. But, yes, I've been saying it for a year now, essentially. Jordan Travis ran for 150 yards this year. He's like 4th all-time in rushing touchdowns in Florida State history for anyone, and he ran for 150 yards. It just was not part of their game plan for whatever reason, and I get why it's frustrating, because so many times you see, okay, well, maybe the quarterback wouldn't have run for 70 yards there, but he might have run for 7, as opposed to Benson just losing 3. And it just hasn't happened. Maybe it'll happen this week. Maybe this will be finally the week that the quarterback run actually becomes a part of the offense.
Too soon to point out the last time Jordan did run it, he got a first down?
Come on, man. It is too soon. It is too soon. But yes, he did pull it, and it was open. It was open for 15 yards.
C691027. How many touchdowns is Tate Rodemaker capable of from being the starter for 2 weeks? 3 seems plausible running and passing. 3 question marks.
What was the first part of that again?
How many touchdowns is Tate capable of from 2 weeks as the starter? Verbatim.
Yeah, is he asking how many he's going to?
Well, I guess just now that he's in his second week as a starter, like he's got another game, he's got a game under his belt. Now he's going to the second start. How many is he capable? With 3, but you already set the over under. But passing there's only passing touchdowns. Oh, no, it wasn't.
I did yards. I mean, yeah, I probably, I don't know. 8,
if he's got 3 touchdowns, like what's the win probability for Florida State? Like 98%?
If he's thrown for 3?
No, just 3 total.
No, I mean, I think it's about 70%, just like what it is now, because I assume they're going to score in the 20s. And whether he throws
they did
for 2
last week, and he didn't score any touchdowns.
No, I know, but that doesn't, then next week it might be, Johnny Wilson, that throw to Johnny Wilson at the 1 is at the pylon. He was close to scoring some. But my point being, I think the total doesn't change much if he has a great game, because I assume if they score touchdowns this week, he will be involved. Like, he's going to hit some passes. So I would think, I mean, yeah, he could throw for 3 and run for 1. As long as the 0 is next to the turnover column, you've got a real good shot to win this game.
VimeEnergy.com. Speaking of shots, shake it and take it. Promo code Warchant BOGO. Warchant BOGO. Buy 1, get 1 free. It's crazy how that works. It's all because the programming back there, the engineering of the website says if you put that promo code in, you'll have it work out to give you something free. But the guy at the top of this is a Florida State guy, and he's like, make it happen. I want my Florida State listeners out there to be able to buy one of these and get 1 free. So that's how it happens, everybody. It's incredible technology. It's a beautiful thing. So is 260 milligrams of all-natural caffeine in 1 convenient size little bottle that tastes delicious and has no sugar. So there's no sugar crash, none of those jitters. Vitamin Energy is energy with benefits. There's nutrients, antioxidants, things that enhance your mood, things that enhance your focus, your workout energy. Pick out what you want to enhance. It's all there. Multi-packs. Variety packs. VitaminEnergy.com, the world's first and only clinically proven energy shot. Shake it and take it. Go to VitaminEnergy.com. Use the promo code WarchantBOGO. Warchant BOGO. Woolsey 321. Good morning, gents. Wake up. I am also known as longtime subscriber Woolsey_69 from Indian Harbor Beach, Florida, home of the late Tim Wakefield.
Oh, all right.
I never knew of a Woolsey under 69, so. But you're a long-time subscriber, so we appreciate it. Thank you, man.
We do, indeed.
Against the Florida Gators, Florida State only saw 2 running backs carry the ball, with 19 of the 24 going to Trey Benson. This was a deviation from what we have seen over the last 4 years. I am curious as to why Florida State did that, given that Trey's early struggles and seemed like Keziah could have given us a nice changeup. Do you expect Florida State will see that again this week against Louisville? See you guys Friday night in Charlotte. Go Noles. I've been trying to substitute Florida State for we in these questions, so that's probably why I'm fumbling all these questions. Maybe I should just read them verbatim.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, be nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, Corey, what's up with that? it's a deviation. What's up with Trey getting all these carries?
I think it's a good question. It's a fair question because he did that might have been his season high in carries. I think the way the game went, and obviously Benson did not start out well. That was the worst run of his career to start the game. And I thought after the second time where I thought he could have gotten 2 yards and instead lost 3 on his second run. I'm like, maybe don't play Trey anymore. And that's, again, shows how smart I am. I just think when you go a whole quarter and you have the ball for 3 plays, and I don't know, man, when you got the ball with 8 minutes left in the second quarter, you've run 6 plays from scrimmage, it changes the calculus on everything. Where you might have wanted Rodney Hill to be in the game. You might have wanted Keziah Holmes to be in the game and get them a carry or 2 or 3. When you're down on the road and you haven't had the ball yet, you want your best players out there. And Trey is your best running back. And you hadn't had the ball much. And so you need him. You just need him. And it was just one of those games where I'm sure they wanted to play other guys all across the field, more wide receivers too. But they never felt like they had any breathing room because they were behind for a lot of the game and they barely had the ball for a lot of the game. So in that instance, you're not – and they had like 1 or 2 sustained drives. You know, you'll see like Benson, maybe he plays 6 plays in a row and then comes out and Toafili comes in, or Toafili has 5 plays in a row and then Rodney Hill or Keziah comes in. Well, they didn't have a lot of those instances. So, I think their first drive of the second half was like a 6-play drive. So there weren't long sustained drives where you would do a lot of subbing. And so that's a lot of answers. That's a lot of ways to answer the question for me to just say it was a weird kind of funky game. And no, they don't want to just give the ball to 2 guys. I think they love their running back room and the depth they have. But in that instance, you didn't want to be down 12-0 after a safety, get the ball back on your own 10, and then give your 4th-string running back a try. You want to go with your guys in that instance, and Benson helped get them down the field for the touchdown.
Yeah, man, and he seemingly just breaks the dam. Like those runs, when he's able to finally get just a little bit outside the outside shoulder of that guard, outside the tackle on those, the counters, like he's like Chris Carter, man. All he does is score touchdowns.
Yeah, man. I think he's got 13 this year, 13 or 14.
Yeah, I think 14.
I should look that up. That's crazy. And you're looking at it, you're like, man, Benson hasn't had a great year, and I think he's got 14 touchdowns.
He's got 14 touchdowns, 6.1 yards per carry. When I think it was like 6.4 last year per carry, if I'm not mistaken. It's been incredible just kind of see him again, like bust off these like home run runs as opposed to these chain moving 7-yard chunks. But yeah, last year 6.4 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns. This year 6.1, 14 touchdowns. So
he's tied with Cam Akers for the 7th most rushing touchdowns in a season, with the 14. The record is Greg Allen in 1982 with 20. Dalvin Cook had 19 in 2 straight years. So, hey, man, another big game this weekend, and then get to your national championship game. Old TB, he might be making a run at Greg Allen.
Also, I mean, it's not a rushing touchdown, but he had an 80-yard touchdown catch this year too. So 15 touchdowns as a whole. Moving along. Shout out. I just want to celebrate this guy real quick.
Okay.
Mignats. He's posted before. He's been a member since August 1st, 2022, which I think is pretty much like the first day of the public launch of Warchant on the On3 network. He's only posted 16 times in over a year. So picks his spots.
Yeah.
Never mind. Saw someone ask a similar question.
Love it. Love it. Great. I loved it. That was one of his posts.
Celebrate him. Just so overwhelmed. Mark Naples, wake up. Concerned about the emotional warfare in Charlotte. Louisville essentially has nothing to lose. They've had a dream first season under their new head coach. If they don't beat number 4 Florida State, they still go to a nice bowl game, and they've still reached all their goals in year 1. Florida State, other hand, however, has an ACC title on the line. And oh yeah, college football playoff berth on the line. Mike will preach his normal message. Doesn't matter who we play. All we got is all we need, which I love. I just hope we don't play tight because of what is on the line. Yeah, finish for 13. I love that too, but I hope they play loose. And one of their best and most aggressive games of the year, they'll need to be on top form, or rather in top form, if we get to Georgia or Michigan in round 1. Go Noles, crush Louisville, make them want to quit by the third quarter.
Yeah, there's something to that you hope they play, because there was, as we talked about earlier in the week, there's a different type of pressure when a team like Florida can end your magical season. So surviving that can free you up a little bit, but then now it's a different kind of pressure, right? It's like, there's a championship on the line, sure, but there's a playoff spot. This team's been battling since the offseason drill started early January. So they've been doing this for 11 months. And the end is right there. Their number one goal, well, I don't know how they rank them, state championship, ACC championship, national championship, but their biggest goal is to get to the playoff and play for a national championship, and they're 60 minutes away for it. So there can be a little pressure diced in there. But I do think, Aslan, and I know I might be 100% wrong, that you do have – they would have a better chance to win with Jordan Travis, clearly. Clearly. But I feel like there would also be more pressure on that team, a Jordan Travis-led team. I feel like them going into this game without their quarterback is a reason, because the expectations clearly have been lowered. Some people are arguing they shouldn't get in even if they win. So it does kind of free them up, I think, to be like, we're going to show y'all that we're not a one-man team, and here goes nothing. None of y'all believe in us anyway. We're going to show you that we can beat you with Tate Rodemaker as our quarterback and not Jordan Travis. And also, I don't know, maybe it's just me because I wasn't a competitive athlete at a high level. I would be like, yeah, man, if we lose, we already got a built-in excuse. J-Trav isn't with us. Our Heisman contender is out for the year. None of these other teams are dealing with that. So there's no the pressure. I don't know. I just think it's a different feeling of pressure, and maybe it can be it can buoy them a little bit and make them play a little more carefree.
I think everything you said in the first part of that soliloquy is what carried them last week against Florida, and I don't know if you can go to the well again on it. I think they're physically exhausted. I think there's a considerable amount of mental exhaustion too.
Yeah.
And I think if you had Jordan Travis,
I think that's every team, though, right?
It is. But to Mark's point, Louisville is like, all right, man, if we win this game, no one's going to remember the Kentucky loss. We're going to New Year's Six Bowl. This is awesome. But if we lose, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
Florida State loses, man, everything we came back for, all this is gone. I can't imagine that's not in the back of their head. And when you know you don't have 13, that was, man, I'm going to give 159% because I know he's here. He's going to make it work. I'm going to do my job. But at the same time, you're he's not here. I have to do 159% of my job so that we can pull this out. So a little bit of that works there. But yeah, every team is exhausted, battered, and bruised. But man, you looked at practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, you thought you might be covering North Texas or Notre Dame with the amount of green that's out there. But, Louisville's top receiver, he's got a busted hand that's been giving him problems, so everybody's dealing with it. But I just think that there's a lot of emotional equity that Mike Norvell has built with this program, this team, this particular team this year, that, man, they used it against Florida and Gainesville, and it worked out. I wonder how much of that is still in there. There's no quit in this team. I'm not saying there's quit in this team, but man, they've been going up against a lot for a long time. They've been playing football games consecutively here since October 14th. They had that off, but since September 30th, Aslan. They've been playing games since October 7th.
Yeah,
they're tired and weary.
Yeah, and that's why I think I hope if and when they do win this game, that I know the rest of the nation is going to say whatever, you beat Louisville, big deal. I hope Florida State fans, and I think most of you will, absolutely understand what a great win this would be.
They're 10-2. I mean, they just lost in Kentucky, but they're 10-2. They're a good football team.
They're a good football team that beat Notre Dame to a pulp. This is a good football team with good lines of scrimmage. They are competent. They are competently coached. They're much better than the team you beat Saturday night in the Swamp. Now, that was a crazy environment, and that gets its own kudos for that win. But with a backup quarterback, playing your 9th week in a row, with the emotions that come with losing your star player, and to rally up and win at Florida and then win an ACC championship game that's essentially a pick'em against a team that's pretty talented and well coached and competent, with a backup quarterback, man, that is a great win, and it would be a great win for this program. It would just be such a culture win for this program. That said, if they lose, it's still been a magical, awesome year, right? It's still been. It just has 12-0, baby, 12-0.
Beat both your rivals. Beat all three of your rivals.
And again, maybe it's just the way I look at it. I think a lot of people are probably with me, but they wouldn't admit it right now. But if you go 12-0 and then lose the ACC Championship game with your backup quarterback, I think everybody watching that game will if we had Jordan Travis, we're the ACC champs. I don't know how that affects the way a team plays, but I think that would affect the way a fan views this season. Because, yes, it would be a disappointment to not win an ACC championship. When you got this far, you're right here, you're 60 minutes away. But there is a real legitimate reason if you don't win it. Your best player is in crutches and just had surgery a couple of days ago. That's why you didn't win. If you don't win, I think we would all say the reason you didn't win is because you didn't have Jordan Travis. Which, again, so my point being, you'll be upset. We'd all be upset, and it would suck, and it'd be a bummer way to end a great season. But I think we would all still look back on the season in saying it was great. It was a success. It was a rousing success. It was a lot of fun to cover and watch and for you guys to cheer for. Win or lose on Saturday. It just would be so sweet if they won. God, that would be awesome.
Great segue to Grumpy BK. Wake up. Welcome to championship week. I remember Aslan in the preseason feeling strongly that it was playoffs or bust. Well, here we are with one final game to determine the outcome. It is still playoffs or bust, with the bust having more on the line, the ACC title, than we probably thought. A lot of Warchant Storm Chasers. Oh, that's the second part of his question. Well, that wasn't even a question. It was just kind of a statement.
Okay.
Yeah, it is still playoffs or bust, but I guess to Corey's point, you don't have Jordan Travis. So,
if you lost this game with Jordan Travis, if you somehow lost to Louisville when you had everything to play for and Jordan Travis was your quarterback, that would be a disappointing end. And you would be rightly kind of angry about it. Yeah. But,
but also,
go out there and give it your best.
If you would have told me in August that, you're going to be 12-0, but you don't have Jordan in the ACC championship game, if you lose, will you be okay with it? I'd probably be like, absolutely not.
Okay,
Did not come this far to only come this far.
Right. I got
so it's a crazy situation.
Hey, you know what? We're not going to have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, we won't have
They're
to
going to get
about
that dove.
MyBookie.ag, promo code is WarChant. That's a 110% instant cash deposit bonus. If you use that promo code, you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, including all of these conference championship games, which Corey and I rattled off yesterday. Don't feel good about any of them, really. But you can bet live. You can bet in their live casino. You can also bet on futures. Heisman's coming up soon. It's all there for your betting pleasure, but do bet responsibly. We are big advocates of using sports books responsibly. So set your limits, stick to them, and have fun out there. And use a promo code to give you some more leverage if you do choose.
And always remember, it's not a gambling problem if you don't lose.
Argue against it, everybody.
Yep.
Argue against it. Good luck with it. MyBookie.ag. Promo code is WarChant. All right, back at it, Corey. Winding things down here. Our guy Grumpy BK did ask a lot of the WarChant Storm Chasers predicting a cold, wet game in Charlotte Saturday night. Who do those conditions favor?
I would think probably Louisville because they can run it better than you. And you don't run it at all against anyone. You don't run it well against anyone typically, and they stop the run pretty darn well. So, but you could throw in the rain. People have completed passes in the rain. I've seen it. I watched that Eagles-Bills game the other night. It was like a rainstorm the whole game, and they're going up and down the field. So you can still complete passes in the rain. But I still think probably on a dry field, a dry night, Florida State probably a little more team speed, better receivers. It would probably favor Florida State.
Man, looking at my weather app as we talk about this, it's got rain in the forecast from 6 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. on Saturday.
Yep.
And a high of 63 and a low of 55. That's raw, but it's not cold, Like, it's not my hands are numb, I can't feel anything. It's just very unpleasant. But they've got heaters and all that stuff to keep them going. But yeah, I think probably.
See, mine has the chance of precipitation at noon at 45%. And then the chances of precipitation at, probably 8 at 0%.
Really? And we both have iPhones. Who'd have thunk?
No, you're right. But it's not like 100%. Like on mine, it looks like 45% chance of precipitation is the high mark. Like it doesn't look like it's 100% to me. At noon, I'm talking about. There's like a 45% chance of rain. It stays that way until like 7, where it's about 40, and then it starts going down to 30, and then 0 by like probably halftime. But this is a phone, and we're days away. Yeah. So, I mean, the weather changes within the hour, so it's hard to really predict. But hopefully it'll be, of course. It's just crazy they have this game here in this stadium.
Well, everybody else is playing in a dome.
Yeah, except
SEC
the ACC
Championship game, dome. Big 12, dome. Pac-12, dome. Big 10, dome. ACC, north of the Mason-Dixon line, open stadium. Or, I don't know, where's the Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah, I think it's south of that, buddy. But, yeah, it's close. You're right up you're getting closer to it. Yeah. It's always cold. It seems like it rains half the time they play this game in Charlotte.
I will say this, like that Florida game, I don't think there was any rain in the forecast. And when it started raining during pregame warm-ups, I'm like, this is it. This is how it ends.
Yeah.
On a damp, cold kind of night in Gainesville in front of all these losers. This is how it ends.
Yep.
But then it stopped raining.
Yeah. And Tate Rodemaker said no. Yeah. And Trey Benson's like, no, it doesn't end here.
Not on my watch. Drill Sergeant Porter, wake up. 12-0, back-to-back state champs. Tate Rodemaker started rocky, and it was a weird start to the game for us, especially considering their quarterback had a fumble that went their way, and we dropped 2 interceptions from him. Considering all that, last year at Louisville, Tate came in, and when we were losing against North Alabama, we were down 13-0, and this year we were down 12-0 at Florida, but Tate did not completely melt down, and we found a way to win. Go Noles.
How about my man Tate? He's played really 3 games in his life that have mattered, and he's led 3 comeback wins. He's 3-0. He's like the remember that stat they used to always have for like Matt Ryan, these guys that have played, led 68 fourth quarter comeback drives or whatever. Yeah. Like Tate's had – in his career, he's had, well, the Louisville game wasn't a start last year, but the two
of them weren't his doing. Like Louisville wasn't his fault. Saying. North Alabama wasn't his fault. Yeah.
But it's like he's had 2 games where he's come from behind in the fourth quarter. Out of 3 that he's played, and the other was North Alabama. So the 2 important games he's played against Division I foes, he's 2-0 in fourth quarter comebacks, man. Just give that kid a chance in the final quarter, gang. Just keep it close. Old Tate will get you to the promised land.
Or do we go Tampa Rays? Do we go opener closer? Do we let Brock start the game?
Oh no!
And then all right, Tate, it's time.
That's right, Tate. You're in a hole. Yeah. We had him. We wanted him to take a knee to get to the half, and he threw a bomb to no one. So who knows? No, I think Tate will probably get the start.
Who was that? Was it the Jets who threw a Hail Mary before the end of half?
Yeah, and the Dolphins returned it 99 yards for a touchdown. Of course, that happened. That was awesome. It's crazy. I've never seen that before.
I haven't either.
The closest I saw, honestly, it reminded me of it in the 91 game at the Swamp. The Florida, for some reason, even though they're at their own 20, threw a Hail Mary. It got to like Florida State's 20. Buckley, because the ball was his anytime it was in the air, went and intercepted it, and I think ran it down to like the Florida 10. Like he got really close to scoring on a Hail Mary because it was, once he caught it and was running away, it was just 5 linemen and him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like the Florida kept their good athletes back near the line of scrimmage. They were all behind him, and I think he got run out of bounds or finally got tackled at like the 10 or 15. Old T-Buck.
All right, last one. I think we jumped around we weren't in sequential order here, so sometimes they fall through the cracks, but I think I did a decent enough job. So Geo Nole, last one. I think it's not even a question, just a sentiment. Wake up. What a year to be a Nole. We have come so far in such a short amount of time, and it still seems like we are looking for something more. Real quick note on that, by the way. Apparently somebody bumped a video on YouTube, I think, when Norvell got hired and quoted, I think somebody on the video was, I think you, Ira, Gene, and myself, and I'm 110% sure it wasn't me. But somebody, I guess, on the panel said, if Florida State can get to the playoff in like 2023, sign me up. Check that box. And
They're right there.
60 minutes. 60 minutes, Tate. 60 minutes. All right, it all seems like we're looking for something more. I think we will be prepared to go in and play like champions play and win Saturday. If we can do that, I agree with Aslan about us going up to number 3 and playing Michigan. To me, that would be the best scenario. Thank you all for what you do. It has been a long journey, but we have made it to another ACC Championship game. Go Noles.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. It's been 9 years that they've been in this conversation, so that's really neat. And hopefully they play well. And, yeah, I do think that Michigan or Washington, I think you would take either one of those matchups because Washington has a bad defense. Michigan is the Big Ten. So you like your chances to, I feel like I'm demeaning this team, but keep it close. And if you're close in the second half, a couple of plays here and there, you win the game.
This team wins games that are tight in the fourth quarter.
They're close. Yeah, they're close. They typically, for 18 straight games, they've found a way to win. So that's what. But Washington's won 19 in a row, which is crazy too. So yeah, I would think if you've got a chance against Washington, you've got a chance against Michigan, Oregon and Georgia would be tougher tests for sure, in my opinion.
Based on what, man? Who's Oregon beat? I'm just kidding.
Thanks. Good. Thank you.
But really, who have they beat? But yeah,
nobody.
Looked,
you're right. But if they beat
looked
Washington,
they've looked every bit as dominating in their wins as Michigan did earlier in the year. But it's like it's more recency. So, and in Aslan's world, that matters. Like how you're playing right now matters more.
And I also think they're playing better teams than Michigan did. Like they're not playing great teams. Oh my gosh,
absolutely, yeah.
Michigan was playing just awful teams.
Yeah. No, the top half of the Pac-12 versus whatever you can't even call it a top half of the. I mean, you could. I mean, obviously split in half. It's the half, but I mean, after Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, and even putting Penn State almost feels a little bit fraudulent when you compare those two teams. It's blah, right? I mean,
yeah.
How many teams in the ACC would win the Big Ten West? Do you think?
Miami, Florida State, Louisville, Miami, Carolina, maybe. Clemson would, 5 probably.
If Riley Leonard didn't go down, Duke, NC State would. I mean, NC State's 9-3. They'd win
because
it.
Because Iowa could play Clemson for 5 straight weeks and not score a touchdown. Clemson could win that game 3-0, and then North Carolina would score on them. I mean, I know Iowa has a good defense, but they face plotting Big Ten offenses, and North Carolina is a whole different deal. NC State, is another one. Like probably 6 teams could have won the West. Yeah.
All right, that is a wrap for us on the week. Hopefully next time when we all hang out, we're going to be champions of the ACC.
Yep, and getting ready to pack our bags for – you want to go to Cal – I get it, folks.
I'm not so adamant about New Orleans or bust.
I get it.
I see the good.
If Florida State's in New Orleans, they're probably playing the 2-time defending champs that have won like 30 games in a row. That's not a great matchup. But it's still New Orleans, New Year's Eve. That would be fun. Or the better matchup would be in California against one of those aforementioned teams we talked about. So hopefully they're in one of those games. That's all we're rooting for at this moment. Just get in, beat Louisville, do what you have to do, and get to the playoff, and then let the chips fall where they may once you get there. Just get to the dance.
Maybe I should push more for New Orleans because hotels are more affordable there. So I know that we'll have an official Warchant Airbnb, but I can't stay with all you guys for a week. I mean, you guys don't want me around for a whole week either.
Right,
so that's more accurate. But yes. All right.
I'll be at the casino.
I'm on the New Orleans trip then. There we go. I'm back on it. Thanks so much for listening to a whole nother week of Wake Up Warchant. It's also my favorite time of the year, Corey. Everybody tagging us in their tweets. Saying that we're their most listened to podcast of the year or whatever.
Nice.
So that stuff's cool. We appreciate you. We love you all. He's Corey Aslan. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.